प्यारे साथियों, हम बकायदा 2 दिवसीय राष्ट्रीय वर्कशॉप भारत का खेती संकट इस विषय पे आज दूसरे दिन शहीद पृथ्वी सिंह चाकली शेर हॉल में एकत्रित हुए हैं। मजीद मुंह रखे बड़े बहुत ही सत्कारयोग साथियों, आज का दिन हम हमारे किसान लहर के एक और नेता, जिनका पिछले साल 29 नवंबर को वो हमसे दैहिक तौर पर विदा हुए। फरीदकोट जिले के रूड़ीपुरा गांव से उन्होंने भारतीय किसान यूनियन एकता डकौंदा की नींव रखी थी। वो आज हमारे बीच में नहीं है। उनकी तस्वीर मेरे बाईं ओर लगी है। साथी जगतार सिंह रूड़ीपुरा गांव था उनका। आज का दिन हम इस साथी को समर्पित कर रहे हैं 2 दिवसीय वर्कशॉप का। आज और कल जो बीत गया, जिस विषय को लेकर के हम बहुत सघन विचार विमर्श कर रहे हैं, हमें प्रसन्नता है कि आज दूसरे दिन हमारे बीच में हमारे देश के बहुत ही जाने माने चिंतक, विद्वान और अखिल भारतीय शिक्षा अधिकार मंच के अगुआ डॉक्टर अनिल सदगोपाल हमारे बीच में पहुंचे हैं। मैं उनसे निवेदन करूंगा कि वो कृपया उठ करके आगे की पंक्ति में आकर के विराजमान हो। डॉक्टर अनिल सदगोपाल, और आप तालियां लगा करके उनका स्वागत करें। पंजाब के लोग और खासतौर पे इनकलाबी केंद्र पंजाब के साथ जुड़े लोग बहुत लंबे अरसे से डॉक्टर अनिल सदगोपाल से परिचित हैं, क्योंकि हमारे पंजाब में ये साथी अनिल और दिल्ली से और साथी भी मधु जी, डॉक्टर विकास गुप्ता, वो हमारे बीच में 2-3 बार आकर के हमें शिक्षा के उस खोए जा रहे, छीने जा रहे अधिकार को, वंचित किए जा रहे अधिकार को प्राप्त करने का रास्ता बताने का इन्होंने भरसक प्रयत्न किया और एक लहर बनाई है। उस लहर में इनकलाबी केंद्र पंजाब और आप जनशक्ति कर्नाटका और विभिन्न संगठन देश के शामिल हैं। अभी पिछले दिनों संसद भवन पर जंतर मंतर में 8 दिवसीय एक बड़ा रेजिस्टेंस कैंप आयोजित किया डॉक्टर अनिल के नेतृत्व में। वहाँ पंजाब के लोग भी और विभिन्न प्रदेशों से भी लोग आए कि नैरोबी कॉन्फ्रेंस में जो हायर एजुकेशन का अधिकार हमसे छीना जा रहा है, उसका विरोध हमने वहाँ दर्ज किया और बहुत ही शानदार प्रोटेस्ट रहा वो। आज अनिल जी हमारे बीच में हैं, हमें प्रसन्नता है इस बात की। हम उनको भी आपके समक्ष आज के सेशन में प्रस्तुत करेंगे। बाकायदगी से आज का कार्रवाई शुरू करने के लिए मैं कर्नाटका जनशक्ति के कामरेड ललिता को निवेदन करूंगा कि वो मंच संचालन की जिम्मेदारी दूसरे दिन की संभाले। इससे पहले एक विनती निवेदन सभी साथी अपना अपना मोबाइल फ़ोन बंद कर लें। किसी भी साथी का मोबाइल फ़ोन नहीं चलना चाहिए। और आज दूसरे दिन जो नए साथी आए हैं, जिनके पास ये पहचान पत्र या आइडेंटिटी कार्ड नहीं है, वो कृपया रिसेप्शन पे अपना नाम दर्ज करवा दें और वहाँ से अनुमति लेकर के ही इस हॉल में अपनी प्रविष्टि दर्ज करवाएं। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਥੀ ਅੱਜ ਨਵੇਂ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਦੂਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਕੱਲ नहीं आए सी, वो कृपा करके अपना जानकारी रिसेप्शन कमेटी ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ एंट्री गेट ਦੇ ਨਾਲ बैठी है ਉੱਥੇ अपनी एंट्री दर्ज करवावे। मैं निवेदन करूँगा जनशक्ति कर्नाटका के अगवा कामरेड ललिता से कि वो आज के मंच संचालन में निवेदन। थैंक यू।
Shukriya. So this we had digested. Otherwise, for Comrade Amit Kumar from INK, it's the reverse for me. Every time probably we have digested. Comrades, this is the second day. Yesterday, many comrades had travelled from long distances. They had not slept well. Today, I hope everybody is more fresh. We had sessions with people from Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, and also people from different Odisha. Paper was read here. Climate change and agri-crisis, in relation to agri-crisis, and plus comrades from KNS and IMK presented their positions on various aspects relating to agri-crisis. कल हमारे बीच में पंजाब से, मध्य प्रदेश से और दूसरे स्टेट से और इम्पोर्टेंटली केएनएस और आईएमके का कॉमरेड्स भी और क्लाइमेट चेंज और एग्रीकल्चर के ऊपर बात हुआ। There was emphasis on many aspects on changing conditions, on the need to understand the processes which are behind the farmer suicides, on alternative need for looking for various alternatives, need for comprehensive solutions, the need for organizing more concretely the marginal peasants and poor peasants, as movements have been mainly led by big farmers so far. New aspects came into the whole thing. We came to know that even Adivasi Dalit are committing suicide today. There was a lot of dukh expressed because we are losing our own native practices, our own native knowledge, and we are growing more dependent on corporate forces. So everybody expressed their counter to corporate forces. The need to totally defeat capitalism as such. There were larger questions raised about how we achieve revolution, which we can't deal in this workshop, but they are relevant. There could be some differences of opinions on this, yet everything is relevant and important, and they are necessary. There are questions on how we have to look into the whole ecological question in relation to agriculture and even otherwise. So many useful aspects have been brought to the notice of the hall. Comrades, now claps to the participants. I have never seen an assembly which is so very patient and disciplined. I am seriously saying this. बहुत ही पेशेंस के साथ, बहुत ही डिसिप्लिन के साथ पूरा हॉल, whole day. Not so easy. If it's difficult for the organizers and the speakers to organize and speak, it's very difficult. I don't think even I'll be fidgeting. इधर उधर ऐसे करती हूँ मैं chair में. Can't sit. You have been sitting and listening keenly, listening with interest. So, मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है आज भी और भी यही डिसिप्लिन के साथ, यही पेशेंस के साथ, यही इंटरेस्ट के साथ आप सब आपके सीट्स में stay close to the seats. Request you not to venture into the hall, I mean outside the hall or in the dining hall except in breaks. This I hope and I am confident that you will maintain by yourselves and we don't have to repeat. And organizers have declared a holiday for mobiles. Chutkara, mobile se aaj. So silence or you switch off, it's your choice. Choice like in everything else is limited. Silence or switch off. So even this बार बार रिपीट करना बोर भी है, आपको भी अच्छा नहीं लगता, हमको भी अच्छा नहीं लगता, इसलिए कृपया mobiles, if they are still on, please close till the end of this session. This is freedom, not control. हम सब बंदित हैं mobiles. So thirdly, today we have morning session थोड़ा ज़्यादा, हमको ये भी पता है कि 2/3 of the audience here can follow हिंदी better. तो हमने सोचा कि ये ज़्यादा हिंदी में ही चलना चाहिए. फिर भी थोड़ा limitations भी है. ये आज का morning session ज़्यादा साउथ से जो संगठन आए हैं वो अपना बात पेश करेंगे. So presentations will be more from the organizations in the south this morning. We'll start with Karnataka Jan Shakti, which is a co-organizer. Then we'll go to people from, there are different states which have not been represented here. With the best of our efforts, still for different reasons, people from Tamil Nadu could not participate, and similarly from Kerala, and Kerala people had expressed this earlier. We could not also reach out to people from Goa, organizations or otherwise, and Himachal Pradesh, Assam. We really hope to do it in future. But we'll have people, we'll start with Karnataka, go to Telangana, Andhra, basic summary versions of the paper from Tamil Nadu will also be presented. This will be our main thing in the morning session. कोई इंग्लिश में प्रेजेंट करेंगे, तेलुगु में प्रेजेंट करेंगे, बट सब उनका सारांश जो है वो हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट होगा स्टेज से ही. So that's essential. और पूरा पेपर जो है, पूरा सेट आपको मिलेगा. अगर नहीं है उधर पे हम उसको अरेंज करेंगे, ज़ेरॉक्स करेंगे. So whoever needs it can inform Comrade Parag and necessary arrangements will be made. And now I request on afternoon session we have presentations from Maharashtra, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, and also on specific aspects, how women have been affected due to this whole agriculture crisis and especially the suicides, and migration and agriculture crisis. There were also some one or two comrades who have requested that they would also like to present particularly on sugarcane crisis and peasants' problem, etc. We'll see how we can account it. Now I request the speakers to kindly focus on the particular situation in their states and particular aspects which are different from the other states. Better than to repeat. One wants to, one can mention definitely. One can provide the broader canvas. That's surely not, that's part of the whole thing. But to try to present more on aspects, particular aspects which are different in their own state, provide a picture to make it more interesting, and also present their own opinions on analysis and other aspects, demands, etc. Today, after 15-20 minutes, we have been a bit liberal in the inaugural session, and later we had no choice. So as every time as the speakers take more time, there is less time for discussion. There are no breaks, there are less songs, and that way the workshop can't be as colorful. So I request the speakers to confine their presentations to exactly 20 minutes. After 15 minutes, a note will be passed, reminding that there is only 5 minutes more. 1 minute before the 5 minutes is over, I'll get up and stand. Please don't make me stand for a long time, and kindly finish your presentation made. So now I welcome Comrade Vasu from Junction P2. A dayas thoda feudal like it had earlier, the kind of backup and support it had, and the social base it had on its peasants. Again, the movement overall is picking up and is actively involved in it. So he will first present his opinions on agricultural crisis briefly.
ನಾನು ರೈತನೂ ಹೌದು, ಕವಿ ಮತ್ತು ಲೇಖಕನೂ ಹೌದು, ರೈತರಿಗಾಗಿ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ನಡೆಸೋನು ಹೌದು. ನನಗೆ ಈ ವೀರ ಭೂಮಿಗೆ, ಪುಣ್ಯ ಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯ ತುಂಬಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಎನಿಸಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಈ ಮಣ್ಣು ಪುಣ್ಯ ಭೂಮಿ, ವೀರಭೂಮಿ, ಅದು ಪಂಜಾಬ್. ಭಾರತ ದೇಶ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ದೇಶ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ನಾಡು ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಬಂಗಾಳ. ಭಾರತ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಭೂಮಿ ಈ ಪಂಜಾಬ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವೀರ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಭಗತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್, ಸುಖದೇವ್, ಲಾಲಾ ಲಜಪತ್ ರಾಯ್, ಹೀಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನ, ಈ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಂತ ಜನ ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ವೀರಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಇಂಥ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ನಂತ ಈ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯ ನನ್ನ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಭಾರತ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತ ಹೇಗೆ ಉತ್ತರದಿಂದ ಚೈನಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಚಳಿಯಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆಯೋ, ಹಾಗೆ ಪಂಜಾಬ್, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶತ್ರುಗಳನ್ನ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ವಾಯು, ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಕೃಷಿ ಆಧಾರಿತ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯ. ನಾವು ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳಿತೇವೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭತ್ತ, ರಾಗಿ, ಜೋಳ, ಗೋಧಿ, ಹೊಗೆಸೊಪ್ಪು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಂಬಾಕು, ಹತ್ತಿ, ಕಾಫಿ, ತೆಂಗು, ಅಡಿಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳಿತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ರೈತರಿಗೂ ಸುಖ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಬಹಳ ಜನ ತೀವ್ರವಾದ ಸಾಲ ಸೋಲದ ಸಂಕಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತು ತೊಂದರೆಯನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 47% ಜನ ರೈತರು ತೀವ್ರ ಸಾಲದ ಸಂಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಸಮೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ನಿಜ. ಕಳೆದ ಸುಮಾರು 30 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ 22,000 ಜನ ರೈತರು ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಳೆದ ವರ್ಷ ನಮಗೆ ಮುಂಗಾರು ಮಳೆ ಕೈಕೊಟ್ಟ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು 700 ಜನ ರೈತರು ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ತೀರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರೈತರು ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಲಬಾಧೆ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಜಮೀನಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕು ಪತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಬಡವರಿಗೆ, ದುರ್ಬಲರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಹಕ್ಕುಪತ್ರ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಡಳಿತ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ದೋಷಗಳು, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಾರಣಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾದ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಇರಬಹುದು, ಅದು ನಿಜವೇ, ವಾಸ್ತವವಾದದ್ದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಡಳಿತ ನಡೆಸುವಂತ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಅದನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥೈಸಿ ರೈತರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಹಂಗಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ಕೀಳು ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಆಳುವಂತ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಕೆಲವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ದುರದೃಷ್ಟಕರವಾದಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂಗತಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರು ಬಹಳ ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಸ್ವಭಾವದ ಜನ. ನಮ್ಮ ರೈತರು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಮುಗ್ಧ ರೈತರು. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಂಥದ್ರ ಕೊರತೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅಂತದನ್ನ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಸದಾ ಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗಿ ಸನ್ನದ್ಧರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಥ ಜನದ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಯಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕ್ರೂರವಾದ ಆಡಳಿತ ನಡೆಸುವಂತ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ದುರದೃಷ್ಟಕರವಾದಂತಹ, ವಿಷಾದಕರವಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಂಗತಿ. ಮಹನೀಯರೇ, ನನಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಮಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಈ ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಈ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೈತರು ಕೂಡ ಸಂಘಟಿತರಾಗಿ ಹಲವಾರು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಆ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳು ಒಡೆದು ಹಲವಾರು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗಳಾಗಿ ಛಿದ್ರವಾಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಂಗತಿ ಕೂಡ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಇದು ತ್ಯಾಗ ಭೂಮಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸುಖ, ಸಂಪತ್ತು, ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಅವಶ್ಯಕವಾಗಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸುಖ ಸಂಪತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ದೊರೆಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೈತ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಹೋರಾಟಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿ ಏಕ ಧ್ವನಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿಂತು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿತ ಸಾಧನೆಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ನಾನು ಈ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಜೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾವ ರಾಜ್ಯ, ಯಾವ ಭಾಷೆ, ಯಾವ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅಡ್ಡಗಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ನಡುವೆ ಅಡ್ಡಗೋಡುಗಳನ್ನ ಇಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ಜಾತಿ ಧರ್ಮಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಜಾತಿ, ಒಂದೇ ಧರ್ಮ. ಮಾನವ ಧರ್ಮವೇ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಧರ್ಮ. ನಾವು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಈ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧನ ನಾಡಿನವರು, ನಾನು ಬಸವಣ್ಣನ ನಾಡಿನವನು. ಬುದ್ಧ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾನವ ಧರ್ಮ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನು, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾನವ ಧರ್ಮ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದದ್ದು ಅದೇ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಥವ್ರು. ಆದ್ರಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಯಾವ ಜಾತಿ, ಮತ, ಭಾಷೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯ, ಪ್ರಾಂತ್ಯ, ಯಾವ ಅಡ್ಡಗೋಡೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ನಡುವೆ ಸುಳಿಯೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಜಯ ಸಾಧಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಪಟ್ಟು ಹಿಡಿದು ಜಯವನ್ನ ಸಾಧಿಸೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಕಳಿಯಿಂದ ಮನವಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ಎರಡು ಮಾತನ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Request Comrade Amit to come up on the dais to translate this into Hindi. Is also Amit from KNS. So now I'll briefly state this in English. So I'll speak in first person, but I'll put it very briefly. I am Gurumurthy, who's a poet as well. I've been an activist. I've also been in work. I've been the editor of a magazine also. I'm very proud to be in this land. I'm very proud to have stepped into Punjab, which is a brave land. Punya Bhumi bole, Veera Bhumi bole, comrade. So the land has been a kind of sacrifices, right from Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev to many other people. It has been acting as the defense against many other attacks, etc. So I am extremely proud to be here today. Our Karnataka is an agri-based country, agri-based state. We grow rice, ragi, jowar, wheat, etc. The people are very peace-loving. They are prepared to do every time adjusting. Okay. So, but they have also been at the same time facing great troubles. They have not been able to live in peace. The monsoons have failed last year, and owing to this, plus other administrative defects, as also the neglect of the state and the lack of any proper documents in the hands of poor peasants, due to which they could not get loans, etc. So, for many reasons, this, apart from some personal reasons as well, some not less than 700 peasants have committed suicide just in last 1 year. But the state is trying to misrepresent this picture. They are trying to pose the peasants in a bad light. They are hurting the sentiments and the self-respects of the peasants, saying that they are doing it for compensation basically. This is very bad. What the peasants need today is the right, they have the right to live in peace, to lead a peaceful, harmonious life. For this, we have to struggle unitedly. Not only the organizations have to come together, the struggles have also to be conducted together. I am very proud to be a citizen of this country, irrespective of no state barriers, no caste, no religion, nothing, language, nothing should come as a barrier between us. These are artificial. We are citizens of the same country. We are from the land of Buddha and Basavanna. And therefore, let us achieve our victory. Let's achieve our demands through united struggle. Thank you.
मैं कॉमरेड गुरुमूर्ति का जो बात है हिंदी में कर देता हूँ। पंजाब में आकर मैं गर्व अनुभव कर रहा हूँ कि ये वीरभूमि, पुण्यभूमि के हिसाब से इतिहास में भी भगत सिंह और बाकी साथी इसमें काफी कुर्बानी दिया और संघर्ष का एक सिलसिला पिछले समय से चलता आ रहा है। तो इधर कृषि संकट में के बारे में बात करते हुए गर्व अनुभव हो रहा है। कर्नाटक के बारे में अगर बोला जाए तो ये एक खेती निर्भर राज्य है। इसमें हाल में खास करके किसानों के लिए काफी गहरा संकट पैदा हुआ है। मानसून जो बरसात है ठीक से नहीं हुआ, वो फसल को काफी प्रभावित किया। कई ऐसे किसान हैं जिसके पास सही दस्तावेज नहीं होने के कारण लोन करना, कर्ज लेना मुश्किल हो रहा है। करीब 700 किसान अभी तक सुसाइड किए हैं, खुदकुशी किए हैं। सरकार इसको गलत तरीके से दिखा रही है कि ये लोग कॉम्पेंसेशन के लिए ऐसा कर रहे हैं, जो कि गलत है। अभी कर्नाटक का जो स्थिति है इसमें हम चाहते हैं कि लोग एक खुशी का जिंदगी, एकताबद्ध जिंदगी ये जिए और इसके लिए सामूहिक रूप से संघर्ष करना चाहिए। हमारा जो जाति, धर्म, भाषा ये सब छोड़ के भारत का नागरिक हिसाब से मैं मानता हूँ कि इस सामूहिक संघर्ष को आगे बढ़ाने का जिम्मेदारी हमारी ऊपर है।
Karnataka Janshakti is an umbrella organization of various other student, women, workers and Dalit organizations. He is a doctor who's keen on attending to the ills of the society more than the illnesses of particular people. वे समाज के बीमारियों के ऊपर उनका ध्यान ज़्यादा है। He is the convener of Karnataka Janshakti. I request him to make his presentation. The presentation will be in English and the summary version will be done in Hindi.
Since yesterday we've been discussing the exact nature of agriculture crisis in various states of India. And as Lalita pointed out in the morning, I'll mainly focus on the situation in Karnataka rather than going for the general aspects which was discussed yesterday. And it's also true that many of the issues which were raised yesterday is also relevant in the case of Karnataka. Of course there are some small differences which I will point. Karnataka is considered as an average state in India because it has the effects of green revolution, like in Punjab, Haryana, or Paschim Uttar Pradesh, or parts of Maharashtra, is not same in all parts of Karnataka. But at the same time, it is not as so-called backward state like Orissa or some other states. So generally, it is considered as an average state. Karnataka, when I said it is different in different parts, it is also because of its historical and geographical consideration. As you can see here, part of Karnataka, which we call Hyderabad Karnataka, was ruled by Nizam, the erstwhile Hyderabad ruler. And the southern part, mostly southern and middle Karnataka, was ruled by the Mysore warriors. Even they were under British rule also, it was ruled by the Mysore state. And parts of it was under Madras presidency, and the other part was with the Bombay presidency. And since the southern Karnataka, which is called the Old Mysore region, was ruled by kings like Hyderali and Tipu Sultan, the feudal nature of the society is not that raw which we can see in the northern Karnataka, especially in Hyderabad Karnataka. So the land distribution was almost 200 years old in southern Karnataka, but in north part that is not the case. So when we talk about land relations and other things, each part of this Karnataka is different. And the western side we have Western Ghats, which is actually which gives the origin of almost all the rivers in Karnataka is from the Western Ghats, and those are the lifelines. And the coastal region, which is actually the southern part, is having a different type of economy. So before going for the specific aspects, I would like to give some general overall issues which we need to keep in mind. In Karnataka, only 26% of the overall cultivable area is irrigated. Even when we look at districts like Mandya, which are considered generally as very prosperous, only 49% of the entire district is irrigated, because that is the district where a dam was built across Kaveri way back in 1930s. But even today, 51% of that particular district is dry land. And about 60% of the state's population, they live in little above the 60%, they live in rural areas. But as it is the case in other states, the trend which is there in the entire country, in Karnataka also, the main trend in agriculture, we can see that suicides and migration is there across all the districts. Of course, it is different in proportion, but it is present in all the districts. And again, the land fragmentation is also seen also in northern Karnataka, where very big land holdings was present till as recently as 80s and 90s. But today, we see only few very big land lots in some districts. But land fragmentation and growing numbers of small and marginal farmers is there in almost every district. And before going to the specific aspects, I would like to say something about Karnataka Janashakti. Karnataka Janashakti, in this way we are working only for the past 5 years. And Janashakti is actually a coalition of different organizations working for equality and working against inequality in terms of caste, class, gender, nationality and religion. So we were earlier only confined to urban area, and we took up a study in 2011 and 12 about the changing conditions in the rural Karnataka. We, across all the districts, we selected 300 villages and went there for study. Most of our activists were involved in that, and to understand the changes that have come in the last 3 to 4 decades, and to know the present condition of the agriculture crisis, we took up a study in 2011 and 12. In fact, some of the copies of the report, you can get it from Mohan. But we have not started our work in the rural area to organize presently. But for the past 2 years, we have started organizing the rural landless people in Hyderabad, Karnataka region, and in fact, 2 successful struggles, land struggles were held in Ballari district, wherein 2 big landlords had confiscated land from landless people. Was actually in those 2 successful struggles, the landless people could get those land, and they are cultivating it now. And apart from this land struggle which we have taken in Hyderabad, Karnataka, in the past 6 months, we are also concentrating among the peasantry in Mandya district. So actually, that is the poster which we that was actually brought out in July and August last year, when suicides were actually increasing, and it was a everyday picture in Mandya district. In Mandya district alone, in the last year, there were 100 suicides. In fact, it was 97 till December 31st, and to cross the mark, as if though it looked like that, 3 people committed suicide on December 31st. And now, for the past one year, from January 10th to this January 10th, it is 1,007 farmers have committed suicide in Karnataka. So after this, we have also tried to work among the peasantry, and this workshop is a very good opportunity for us to take this struggle forward. Now, going for the symptoms and the other aspects of the current crisis, we don't consider that the increase in number of suicides this year is because of the issues that are related only to this year. It is basically a cumulative thing, which is actually part of a phenomena that we can see in entire country, more so in parts where the effects of Green Revolution is more. But there are some certain issues which are actually relevant for us to note here, that a few things precipitated this crisis last year. And apart from this suicide and migration, another trend last year that we could see was the struggle of farmers. There were 2 types of struggles. Sugarcane growers actually they waged a struggle continuously for the past 3 years, and because of the struggle of sugarcane growers, government had to bow down to the pressure and had to bring about some changes in the policy, but which of course did not materialize. But they had to bring an act also and put pressure on sugar mill owners, which actually did not yield any result. In fact, they got a stay order from Supreme Court for the government order. But the struggles are continuously being waged by the farmers. The second type of struggles is about the water issue. In this northern Karnataka, in what we call Mumbai Karnataka, the farmers are continuously sitting in dharna for almost now it is 150 days mostly. So there, for Kalasa Banduri struggle is actually it is making news every day, because there is a dispute between Karnataka and Goa government over the sharing of Mahadayi river water. So almost every section of the society is responding to the call of the farmers, and burns were held in almost all the towns and cities in Karnataka, in Mumbai Karnataka, and even Karnataka burn was successful in support of the farmers' struggle there. But it is not just there. As I mentioned earlier, since only 26% of the cultivable land is irrigated, there are demands for further irrigation projects in almost entire Karnataka, and in southern Karnataka, where the eastern part is mostly dry, they want water from the west flowing rivers. So there also continuous bunds and hartals are going on every day. So water is a serious issue in Karnataka. So last year, apart from this suicide phenomena, we have also seen a surge in farmer struggles. So then going for the immediate reason which was seen, which was actually responsible for this series of suicide. One was drastic fall in prices of various crops, which I will give a list to you later, and severe drought. Drought was more so in the southern part, which was not irrigated. Drought, in fact, it affected farmers in the southern Karnataka very much. Until yesterday, there was no relief was given, though it was announced 8 months back. Yesterday, actually, they started doing something. So no drought relief was also dispersed to the farmers. So severe drought also came as a blow in the last year. And this problem of insufficient power supply. Karnataka is one of the states which has, which is always having shortage of power supply. It buys power from Chhattisgarh and other states, and though it has some atomic power stations and other things, Karnataka people are always in shortage of power, and that shortage is naturally transferred to the rural farmers. While electricity is supplied free, but it is not supplied at all. So that is the issue. So farmers are actually waging struggle for that also. And some crops saw failure also, mostly because of disease. This actually is an interesting thing because the BT companies, they claim that the seeds that they supply are disease resistant and there will not be any crop failure. But this time in Hyderabad, Karnataka area, BT cotton failed because of worm disease. And that is, because of that also there are some struggles going on in Hyderabad, Karnataka area. And the last one is the accumulated debt that is actually widespread in almost all the areas. So before going for the individual crop issues, in the suicide series, there were two new things this time. One is that it has crossed the borders of the irrigated districts. Earlier it was restricted only to the irrigated areas, but this time it was in all other dry districts also. And secondly, the average age of the farmers who are committing suicide is coming down. In fact, more than 17 farmers were of less than 30 years age. So this time, in fact, the series of suicide started with sugarcane. It is because the non-payment of the dues which the private sugar factories they owe to farmers. So since 2013-14, thousands of crores of rupees was not paid, and even till date, some factories have not paid the amount which they were actually supposed to give in 2013-14. Added to that, this year the sugar factories did not started crushing the sugar cane, which was actually they were supposed to do it in July, but till as late as October they did not do it, and some sugar factories have not started even till today, till this January. So this started a panic among the farmers because if you don't crush the sugar cane by 13th month, it will decrease in weight. And for 18 months and 20 months, the sugarcane was not crushed. So the early suicides were actually the sugarcane farmers. But in 2013-14, one farmer committed suicide. An assembly session was being held in Belgaum. Farmer committed suicide in front of the Vidhan Soda, and this actually resulted in a very big movement, and government had to give 150 rupees per ton from its own exchequer. But the factories did not give, which was actually which they were supposed to do. So initially everybody thought that it is only the sugar cane, but in second or third month we started seeing the suicides of other farmers. It was also tomato and the silkworm farmers. In fact, when Modi went to China, after coming, in fact, before going itself, he reduced the import duty on the import of silk, raw silk. So this resulted in rapid decrease in the rate of silk. So the silk cocoons were sold at 400 rupees per kg before this. After this, it came down to as low as 100 to 120 rupees. And tomato, which is actually generally the rates of tomato is always keeps fluctuating, but this time also it came down heavily, and in fact farmers threw potatoes in the streets. And banana, in fact farmers, as a form of protest, they distributed it freely in the roads. Papaya, it was sold to as low as 4 rupees, and orange, the rate of orange also came down. That was the case in the previous year about tobacco also. The State Milk Federation, in fact, it decreased the amount that was given to farmers per litre. All these actually resulted in a crisis in 2015. So these were some of the immediate issues previous year, which resulted in threefold increase in the number of suicides of farmers in 2015. It was 300 and odd in 2014. Now it has crossed 1,000. But this is the immediate reason. But there are many other issues which we all know, which actually is not just confined to Karnataka, and it was discussed yesterday also. So the cumulative effect of long-term contradictions of the agriculture, land fragmentation is also true to Karnataka, and I will give you some of the data about that. But land reforms, in fact, it took place in Karnataka also in 70s. Devaraja, when he was chief minister, he was actually from backward class, and because for his own gains to fight against the leaders in his party from upper caste, he tried to mobilize backward caste and Dalits in favor of him. So he brought about a legislation which was also in par with the central legislation, and tried to mobilize backward caste in favor of him. But that is actually generally that is considered as a so-called radical land reform, but it is not true, and it is only half done. And wherever there is movement, especially of the left, these land reforms were near complete. Near complete in the sense, there also the land reform did not take into account the issue of landless labours. It was the tenants in those lands who got the land. So there is a cartel arrangement there. So we can see both semi-feudal relations in some of the pockets, since this land reforms is not complete. And in some areas, land is distributed, but land fragmentation is so heavy that in a district like Mandya, you can see that more than 90% of the farmers are small and marginal farmers. So, along with this uneven and fragmented land holdings, there is the problem of irrigation, which I have already mentioned, and unscientific farming in the garb of modern agriculture. There is no soil testing done anywhere. And whatever that comes into market, whatever fertilizers that straight away gets into the farmer's field without any scientific practice. And there is increased corporate market control and the dependence on the market, which actually we have discussed in detail yesterday. Since that is the case everywhere, I am not going into details. Along with this, there is increase in seepage. This actually we have noted in our rural study also. We call this seepage of the rural income is also a result of a new kind of lifestyle that has become essential for farmers. But this is not there is a consumerist trend also, but we cannot call it only in negative terms, because education and health has become very costly since the public education system and public medical system is in the state where even the middle farmers, they don't want to send their children to government school. So this has resulted in a seepage of rural income. And thirdly, alcoholism is also quite rampant, and government is in fact consciously promoting it by fixing a target which is every month, which is higher than the previous month. Unless the district excise commissioner, district excise officer increases the selling of the alcohol and thus that particular month to the fixed target, he will be punished. So with this, every month there is increase in sales of alcohol. And fourthly, various superstitions among the farming community is also they spend huge amounts on these superstition practices, and also on festivals in some districts. Every 15 days or month there will be one or the other form of festival for which they will have to spend big amount of money. And debt we know, because one of the prominent features of the Green Revolution, that is there in almost all irrigated parts of Karnataka. So with this, there is migration from rural to urban area, and as I mentioned earlier, it's only 60% who are living in rural area at present. And because of this migration, there is also a problem of shortage in the rural labor force, which is necessary for the middle and big land holdings during some seasons. So this is also seen in almost all the districts of Karnataka. So along with this, we can see the role of the government in negative direction, which is also pushing farmers out of the farming. So yeah, before going to that, these are the statistics which we can see as far as the land holdings is concerned. So together, marginal, small and semi-medium land holdings, that they account for almost 65% of the land holdings. And this is more in southern Karnataka, the land fragmentation is more. The government, by and large, it is actually trying to increase the profits of the corporate sector, but it is also trying to manage the crisis with some of the measures that we see in other parts also. So by deregulation of certain sectors, you can see that sugarcane, which was highly regulated, the sugarcane farming, the sugar factories, all that, it is now going for almost total deregulation. Though it has not completely accepted Rangarajan Committee report, but step by step they are going for that. So this deregulation is also favoring the corporate forces, and there is no regulation of the market, the decreasing subsidies and the privatization of essential services, which I mentioned earlier in education and health sectors. All these, because of these government policies, farmers are facing the crunch. And to manage the crisis, schemes like Manrega, PDS and loan interest waiver, such short-term things are sometimes planned and executed by government, which are not alleviating the crisis, and of course not helping the farmers to come out of the crisis. So this is the overall situation, and going to what is the situation in struggle front. So you all know that Karnataka was one of the states wherein there was very big farmers movement led by Karnataka Rajya Rait Sangha, which was led by Professor M.D. Nanjan Swamy. But in the last years of the previous century, in fact it broke into two factions, and now in almost every district there is a small group which has problems with the leadership and they are forming new groups. So Karnataka Rajya Raita Sangha in all dimensions, in its organizational strength, in its political understanding of the overall situation, the demands which it is putting forth, it is getting weakened every year. And the land farmers organizations actually in the last 3 decades they are not that strong. They have not increased their mass base and there is no effort to build a broad mass movement. So, but their presence is there in some pockets. So, in the last year, of course, there was 1 or 2 major struggles organized by KRRS, but apart from that, though the suicide was an everyday phenomena and even the media, even the farmers were all putting allegations against the major farmers organization, they did almost nothing. So because of this and also because of the overall condition, there is new sprouting of many farmers organization. So Jai Kisan Andolana is part of Swaraj Abhiyan led by Yogendra Yadav and others. That they also had a statewide campaign and they are farming units in some districts. And Karnataka Jana Shakti is trying to organize farmers in the name of Raita Horat Samiti, and some of the members of Raita Horat Samiti are also present here. And the other thing that I mentioned, some of the honest forces who want to build a, who were earlier activists of Karnataka Rajya Raita Sangha have come out and forming new groups, and one of such organizations, their representatives have also come here, and Gurumurthy is actually one of them. And such small group formations is happening almost in every district. And there is one organization called Janasangrama Parishad which is trying to organize statewide study of farmers' suicide. And Samanategagi Janandolna, of which Comrade Noor Sridhar and Sirmale Nagaraj, they are also here in this program. They have in fact started a coalition. They are part of that coalition, the leading it, in which they have taken issues pertaining to the agriculture crisis and they have called it Ali Udishi Horata, that is Save Village Committees. So some of the demands that is put forward by the organization is one of the thing is the so-called scientific price for farm producers. This has taken a new turn after Swaminathan's report, and now almost every organization is saying that Swaminathan report should be implemented. Of course, yesterday was also there was a discussion here. And what was said yesterday is true that Swaminathan report is not just about the 50% plus the production cost, which is not just only that recommendation, but when we see it holistically, what Swaminathan's report puts forward is in the market framework only, and he specifically mentions that all this should be implemented under WTO regime. So, Right to Education Act was in fact considered by some as at best a 25% act. We can say that Swaminathan report is at best a 50% act and even less, because in the market framework we cannot even fulfill that kind of 50% recommendation. But this has become a very prominent demand of many farmers organizations. And there is also demand for cooperative marketing federations in other areas apart from the milk federation. And there was a demand for Karnataka Agriculture Price Commission which was fulfilled. The commission has given recommendation but government has done nothing. So we think that this cannot go for long because the agriculture is almost on the brink of collapse because of the issues which I mentioned, water, land fertility issue. Water is almost overused, land fertility problems which were discussed yesterday, migration, rising input costs, all. Government in the present framework, it just cannot give any solution to these problems. Hence, this crisis is going to deepen and it is going to increase. So there is no future in the present framework. That is what we think. Hence, we need to give an alternative plan to the farming community, but we don't think that the entire alternative plan can be achieved in the present regime. But unless we give an alternative, whether it can be implemented now or not, but step by step we have to put pressure before the government. Unless it is done, the ordinary farmers cannot think of a revolutionary change. So that's why Karnataka Jan Shakti is also built a farmers movement, which is, in fact, all the members of the Raita Horata Samiti are not members of Karnataka Jan Shakti, which has a revolutionary vision, but Raita Horata Samiti will try to bring farmers into a radical movement through their immediate demands. So we are also trying to frame these demands, which apparently are which can be implemented by the government, but which they don't do because they want to have a shift in agriculture overall mode. So these are some of the things. So one thing, the agriculture and the land holding as such, it has to move in a direction of equality. So there has to be a priority shift in policy making, and a non-market oriented and non-export oriented agricultural framework has to be framed, and rejuvenate local self-reliant technology, but of course in a new way backed by the state. And this cooperation and collectivization, which was actually discussed yesterday, we think that that is also one of the ways which we can try to build the movement, though that is not possible in the absolute sense now itself. And the sustainable mode of agriculture, that is also one of the things which we want to put forward as an alternative and as a demand. So as all of us know, this cannot be done through lobbying or through seminars. So the only way forward is to struggle, and the struggle is the only solution. But as a strategy of the struggle, we think that only organizing peasantry or only organizing the small marginal farmers and the landless, it is not possible. Though the landless and the poor farmers are the main base for our struggle, we think that middle and section of the well-to-do farming section should also be involved in our movement. And it is not just the farming community, but the other sections of the society have also to be involved. And broader coalition to fight agriculture crisis is necessary. And let us unite in that broader struggle, and let us form alliances across the state borders. And we hope that a seminar, a workshop like this will throw some more openings for such alliances, and let's build a bigger, wider, broader farmers movement and coalition which will take us to get away from this agriculture crisis. Thank you.
साथियों, कॉमरेड वासु ने जितनी बात इंग्लिश में रखी है, इधर हिंदी में छपती रही है। हिंदी वालों को कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं है? ठीक है, पंजाबी में करवा दें इसकी ट्रांसलेशन। अजय तेरी लोड़ भी है, क्योंकि जो क्वेश्चन आएंगे ये तेन इंग्लिश पुट करने होंगे उधर भी। ओके, कोई लोड़ नहीं है, पर फिर भी तुम आ जाना, सवाल तुम ट्रांसलेट कर।